All right, on the flat rate master, and yes, I look as stupid as I feel. All right, so we're talking the Matco neck light. It's okay. I mean, it's not as irritating for me as the headlamp. And no, I can't do it like that. I've heard people say they can, I know. But as far as a neck light, it works well. Part number, by the way, on these is MWL300G. Now, every manufacturer out there has kind of neck lights out there. And for me, this would be a much better situation than a headlamp, even one that clipped on the hat. Problem I have with when clipping on the hat is, well, I don't wear my hat particularly tight. So it would tend to, you know, fall off. So not an option for me. Same reason I don't like headlights. In order for them to stay where you want them pointed, they have to be relatively tight. I don't like them relatively tight. I wear a hat to keep stuff out of my hair, and well, so I don't have to do my hair. As far as using these neck lights, if they're comfortable for you, it's like wearing a Bluetooth headset. I mean, I wear a Bluetooth headset, drive home every night. It doesn't bother me. These don't bother me. The biggest problem I have is, well, usually I'm not pointed straight what I'm trying to look at. And that's the biggest drawback of these, is when you're trying to use these as a light, you have to, well, point your body where you want to go. If you position them under a dash, propped up with something, you actually might get a really good angle. The biggest drawback again is, well, you have to learn to point your body where you want the light. That's been the hardest part with me is just simply, you know, angling my body that way. Because normally I just turn my head. And via habit with the flashlight in the mouth, well, pointed the right way. Good option. Battery life is okay on these. I wouldn't call it great. You can kind of position it like that so you actually get upward light if you're like working under a dash and you can't get your whole body under there. So that is an option. By using the adjustability of it, you can actually get your light in some weird places. Runtime says 3 hours on high, 9 hours on low. I'd probably say closer to 2, but your mileage will vary. Charge time's overnight. I mean, it says 3 hours. It takes a while. I was actually going to film this review last week. Realized they were almost dead. Actually, they were dead. One of them wouldn't turn on. So I had to charge them, and well, they weren't charged in time. And I didn't want to have a, you know, blinky light go out on me and on camera, so I figured it would be best to have a fully charged light. So, you know, when I'm lighting stuff up, they work well. So, as you can see, hopefully, you can illuminate the nice can of brake clean. And positioned like this, I can actually see everything down here really well. The problem is when, let's say I need to do something over here, is when I have to turn my body rather than, you know, turn my head. That's where it gets kind of awkward for me. The other thing is, as you can see, I've turned my head and I'm hitting the light, which can be kind of irritating. I tend to turn my head a lot when I work, so that is something that will kind of annoy you. So during summer, I mean, it's not that hot out, finally, and I'm already getting sweat on my neck from the band. So that's something that, you know, you're gonna have to judge for yourself whether or not it's worth it. But overall, it's definitely a good option for lighting. You know, I can sit here and I can see all the way down to the crank. I can see the CV axle illuminated. I can see stuff. Whereas if I turn the lights out, it's a whole lot darker down there. If it's something you're interested in, it definitely does the job and will do the job well. The neck sweat, having to turn your body instead of your head is something you're gonna have to get used to, but it's a good option. I don't hate it. So, better than headlamps. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.